folks. If you would you rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call when you're ready.
Nielsen. Here. Marble.
Here.
Northwood.
Here.
Ferris.
Here.
Van Meter here.
Everyone's attention, we have a new treasurer, and it's his first meeting. This is Jill Marble. We even got the name tag here in time.
Yeah, they didn't want me to run out. I use the term "what" treasure really loosely right now. But yes, I'm here and excited about it.
Yes, so we welcome you officially.
Thank you.
And Doc, we officially welcome you back to the land of real help.
Thank you.
So, we have the agenda in front of us. There are a couple of amendments I would make. One is that right after County Commission, number 9, there is a, report in front of you with a paperclip in front on it. And it's about the Headley report. I'm not sure how much we'll get into that, but we'll let Karen address that. And then under number 14, old business, there is a, says Iron Man, and it just kind of got cut off there. It is a, asterisk, which means we are voting on giving permission for Iron Man to use our land in Crystal Lake Township. Under number 13, reports, under new burial fees, actually, I just, by rereading the minutes from last, we already voted on those, so you can cross out the asterisk
I was
there.
going to ask you.
Yeah. And then number 15, there's 2 that we're gonna, or at least 1. The road commission sent me something today about brining the roads, keeping the dust down this summer, so that's included as well. So with those amendments, does anyone wish to add further amendments?
I do.
Okay,
Judy and I got a note from the auditor and he's fine with Brooke being here, but he wants the board to say that it's okay for Brooke to attend our audit in June. And Judy and I would really like her to be here those 2 days. But he would like the board to know that we've asked and you guys say, okay. So I don't know where you add that, but
Under financials.
sure.
okay.
So. Any others? With those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 changes, I propose we accept the agenda as amended. Do I have support?
I support.
Any discussion? All those in favor, just say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Thank you. Conflict of interest at this point? Minutes, we've got a couple to go through. March 19th is the first one and the most lengthy. Did we ever find out who is the missing name there? Under guests?
I couldn't read his writing on the attendance sheet and just looked to see in QVF, but nothing came up, so I don't know what to do about
Does
that.
anybody know who the Steve E. somebody
At the
was?
last
At
meeting.
the last meeting.
Was it the judge?
No, that was John Egler.
Didn't leave an impression.
All right, so we tried our hardest on that. And then on the second page, 2 out of 10, under correspondence, the very long one, the long correspondence regarding cemetery administration it's the last bullet under correspondence. It's the administrative issues with the Nelsons that I was showing you.
Okay.
That they had done their own packet, their problems with me, and I,
Instead of long. is that-
yeah, long correspondence. And instead of issues with Ferris, it was issues with the Nelsons.
Oh,
That was my packet showing that
okay.
all the communication with them. Anybody else have anything that they wish to amend?
Yes. Go ahead.
Actually, I don't. Yes, I did. On the bottom of 6 to 10, I owe Judy an apology in the board because I answered a question quick without thinking. when I
Huh.
was in the audience. I know, not me. When we were discussing the amount of fire and first responders, when you're talking about budgeting, there isn't money coming forward then, it's just straight what the budget is. We won't know if we've got any balance till we're actually doing expenditures against that. So I agree with Judy that it was an addition error. But I don't know how to correct it.
Why don't we, make it into some sort of resolution so that at the next meeting we have it correct?
We can do that, because I've got the numbers, I just don't know which numbers are correct,
Okay,
okay? But I'm sorry.
so that'll put on the to-do
Apology
list.
accepted.
And you think that was with the fire fund?
Yep, it absolutely was.
Okay,
Yeah, it was when I asked, how come you got 130 some thousand and it was supposed to be 148 plus thousand and then.
We
And
thought
then
it
when
was
I
for
added
the
it up, I got
select
154.
board. Okay, we'll get,
Did you say it was on page 10?
It was on 6 of 10, Bill,
Okay, so-
Page
all right,
six.
right at the bottom.
right, thanks.
so you'll just note that there is an error there and will be corrected in the next meeting.
And then the bottom of page 9. Under the ARPA funds, it says in the last sentence. Received from auditing firm and should be inserted there before wondered. A word was missing again,
Received from auditing firm and wondered,
yes.
word and,
Yes.
okay. With those amendments, I move that we accept the minutes of March 19th, 2024 as amended. Do I have support?
I support.
Any further discussion? All those who's in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed. Next one would be March 22nd minutes. Anyone have any amendments? I move that we accept the,
Just a minute. There was a phrase missing on page 3. Down underneath removal of former treasurer from bank accounts, the paragraph that starts marble noted,
Yeah.
it's the 1, 2, 3, 4th line. It said, whether from the bank, cop, or the CLT attorney. The information should be obtained before we make a move. So should be
info
obtained.
should be obtained.
And I have one other thing.
Okay, go ahead.
Later on in the meeting, Elaine Walton's gonna be nominated to be my deputy. And she also read these. And on page 4 or 5 of these minutes, on the 3rd paragraph down, where we say she is very familiar with QuickBooks and the payroll process. She's very familiar with the CSA QuickBooks and their payroll process. And however, Judy, you want to change that, she believes she can help you and Sandra with payroll, but she's not a master, if that makes sense.
Okay, any further amendments? I move that we accept the minutes from March 22nd, 2024 with those amendments, 2 of them, I believe. And, do I have support?
Support that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye, all opposed. Next ones were minutes from April 5th, 2024. Any amendments? I move that we accept the minutes, from April 5th, 2024 as presented. Do I have support?
I'll support that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed. All right, next is, we've got correspondence. There was just a nice letter of apology, basically, from the city of Frankfort, saying that, working to get the budget to us was a little confusing and their numbers weren't quite ready to go, and so they actually, that's why we came back last meeting and redid the contracts. You know, we contract with the city of Frankfurt to cover our fire, and our rates actually went down a little bit because they refigured, and she's just apologizing for that. Any other correspondence at this time? Yes? We don't have any. County Commissioner, you're up.
Wow. Thank you very much.
Karen Cunningham, District 3, for your little owl, County Commissioner. I submitted my report, as always, it's always has to be amended after that, so I'll go over a couple of the things, if you don't mind, Super, that are, that weren't in the report. One of the things is we have 2 new people on the solid waste committee for the county. And that is for materials management, which is coming into some big changes through the state. That'll take a few years to get through all of them, but the new members are myself. And I did seek to be on this committee. And also Corey Brown, who is the owner of Northern Disposal, so he will be on it also. One of the things that he mentioned is he's now in charge of battery pickup. And hats off to District 3, we do a very, very good job at recycling all those, but I learned something. If you have a 9-volt battery like this, it should be taped over the top with some kind of tape. They said it doesn't have to be electrical or whatever, because of a potential for fire, the way they're just thrown in the buckets when they are saved. And also, if you do that, you save his staff and him about 30% of time of having to go through it and tape the things that should be taped. So if it's a battery that is silver in color, makes it lithium, or 9-volt like this, any kind of tape. So I thought that was very good information. The other information that is not in the report, which you alluded to, we have a committee to educate and give information and take comments for the Headley Amendment that is upcoming. The first meeting, and this is, and there's a guide for that, thank you. I didn't have that with me. The first meeting is 18 April, and I just got this email last night, but they just set it up, which is this Thursday at 17:30, 5:30 PM. It will be in the Board of Commissioners boardroom at the county building. The people are mandated, the different people that will be on this committee are mandated. Kelly Long, the county treasurer, will be on it. Katie Zeitz is going to be the administrator on it. Matt Olson from Frankfort, Alberta Schools will be on it. Mandy Gray Rainier, Judge Mead had to appoint someone, and that's the person that he appointed. Randy Rice is a citizen. Some of you might know him, Centennial Farmer. I put his name forward and brought it up, and there was an ad hoc committee. There were other people that applied, and through the ad hoc committee, they selected Randy as a citizen representative that's been in the community and owns his own business and is a farmer. So that's a good voice to have. And then Jason Barnard, who is Benzonia Super for that area, will be on that committee. But again, it's on the 18th. It's open for the public to be part of, to start and help educate about the Headley. So whatever, I will plan to be there at the meeting, just to hear, not in any capacity, just as a citizen like you guys. But it is for your benefit to understand they will have several of these, and there should be a schedule that comes out, but this is the first one this Thursday, okay?
And I'll post that on the website, so if anybody else wants to see that.
Location is at the.
At the county building, and it's in the big boardroom where we have the Board of Commissioners meet.
Thank you.
Yes,
Karen, do you think the meetings will build on each other, or it'll be a repeat of the?
I would anticipate, and this is just me, that there will be new questions, and then I would think, knowing Katie, that she will summarize them
Okay.
and give give feedback on that, so. That's what we're hoping, and it's for the public's understanding and education. So when this possibly, I know I'm supposed to be talking to you, sorry. So if, if and when it gets on the ballot, which one it's on, if it's August and November or just November, we don't know yet.
Okay.
But hopefully the public will be informed, have asked their questions, and that communication has been open on this. So you can make your vote the way an informed vote for yourself when you get to go into the booth or ahead of time or whichever way you do that. So other than that, the rest of the information is on the report. And I believe Judy always posts it. Somebody does. Okay.
Amy does.
Amy does. So it's there for your perusal for the rest of the public on that. On my report, if there is somebody that can give you information, I always include that person's website or their email address, so you can go direct to the source. You don't have to come through me or Amy. If their information is there, just to make it more efficient for the public. So we're trying to be real transparent, and you got your owl, so I'm very happy with you.
Anybody have any questions for Karen?
From the board? Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike, are you here?
Yes, I am.
Hi, Mike.
My name is Mike Cederhholm, Chief, Fire Chief. 28 members, currently on the roster. We just added, Joe Bink, he just joined our department. He's a firefighter 1 and 2. And a medical first responder. He's been approved for level function by Med Control, so he's ready to jump right at it. Talks about the draft 3 plans that we had for Graceland Fruit plans. Both of them, they were approved yesterday by the local emergency planning committee, so they're in operation right now. Our training operations will be at Crystal Downs. We're gonna be going to the different municipalities working around there. And follow up on that letter from the mayor. Basically, well, like she had said, she's created a process now, which is good. I think we're gonna follow in order to do this, because we figure our budget now, we're working on it to get it for July 1st, which is way in advance for your budget, which I know has to start April 1st. So that was, we're trying to create a better process of communication. So our apologies. Training, we've been doing what I call level of function training, which is creating stations on pump operations, water supply, hose, appliances, nozzle deployment, ladders, ropes, knots, including tool hoisting, JAWS equipment, skills testing, and CPR AED pad placement. We're working on that. All these tasks were performed with a tank on the back in order to get used to carrying the weight. Traverse City came down for a wildland urban interface refresher class. They're projecting, obviously, a nasty wildland season because of first drought. We're still in drought. So we had a pretty good group there. Last month, we had 4 fires and 58 EMS runs. We had in March of 2023, we had 7 fire runs and 40 medical calls. So again, medical calls keep bumping up. Community risk reduction, one of the things I wanted to point out is the community risk reduction on installing smoke and CO detectors. It says 11 bed shakers. Now, those of you who don't know what those are, it's actually alarm clock that actually will pick up a smoke detector in your house. It will hear it. And it'll start to shake, it'll start vibrating the bed, and there's a strobe light on top. And it will let you know if you're hearing impaired that you got a smoke detector going off in your house and you better, get out, just get out, because it shakes your bed. And there's 11 of these that have gone into Michigan shores because they brought it on up, and and actually other communities, they're free of charge. So the state has, they're free. And the smoke detectors they gave you free. So And the CO detectors it gave me free, and I put in 18 so far smoke detectors. It shows 8 on this report, but I put in 18 smoke detectors and at least 10 CO detectors so far have been installed. People ask for them and say the word gets out, and I put them out there. And I attended coffee with the residents at Michigan Shores. We talked about the 9-volt battery. Actually took a demonstration. I took a sheet of, a cookie sheet because it was on metal, put a 9-volt battery and asked how many people throw those, just throw them in the drawer. And a lot of them said, well, they do, junk. So they throw their batteries in the drawer. So then I threw a piece of steel wool in it. Whoop. And they went, whoa, I'll never do that again. So, yeah, anything comes into contact, that's why they're taped, will ignite.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so, need to keep that junk drawer clear of batteries. We went through a lot of repairs, or into one still have leaky valves, that's being scheduled to be fixed. The UTV that, we use from the, emergency management, we had all brakes put on it, a lot of work, and we've just, a lot of things that have been breaking and getting fixed, that's life. We got a donation from Sue Priddle for $25 for installing a smoke detector for us. She appreciated it. And I told her they didn't have no charge. Fire recovery, we are working on that. We billed them $5,085.99 and received a total of $1,354.08. There's still some outstanding bills. And then the rest of it's kind of a community relations, things that I'm working on with the school system. And right now, I was approached by the elementary to develop, and for the second year in a row, develop and present a summer safety program to the elementary students. I'm working on it. Happy notes. I wanted to try to put in some happy notes while we're at it. On March 22nd, while we were installing one of the bed shaker alarms at Michigan Shores, we discovered a potential life-saving or life-threatening health crisis. And we called Ben's EMS and said, you need to get ALS here because something's going wrong here quick. So they took the patient right up to ALS, transported right straight to Munson, and that person is fine now. They turned around. And then on March 29th, on Good Friday, we got called to the scene of a possible heart attack with CPR in progress at Frankfort Manufacturing. My wife was working that day because the city was off, and she started their CPR, aggressive CPR on this person, and she ran into one of the nurses from Munson and said, whoever was on that scene did a phenomenal job on the CPR because they saved his life. Wow. So he's, so they had immediate, according to what the patient was transported, they regained return of spontaneous circulation when they were inside there. So that's off to the team that did that. Those are some happy notes, Mark.
I like your report, especially the happy notes.
Yep, I'll see if I can get some more.
Okay, 2 more happy notes.
Any questions, the board?
No, but I have more articles for you.
All right.
If anybody else is interested, I hoist these off on them every once in a while.
Okay.
Trying to explain why the Canadian fires happen.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants this, and if there's anybody who wants other, yeah, I'd be glad to send it to you digitally as well if you want. No big deal. So, I gave one before about the forest fires and so forth. I'm not sure that Michigan is gonna be like out west ever, but we are getting drier. Thanks. Next, thank you very much, both Karen and Mike. Public comment is next, so if anybody wishes from the public to stand up now, here's your chance.
May I, as citizen Karen?
Yeah,
One thing in my report that I didn't mention, it is election season, everyone. And on my report, I put for Benzie, I encourage you to become civically active and consider serving the community in one of the 75 positions open in townships, commissions, committees, boards, and more. Contact your clerk and elected officials for that. The 23rd of
1 week.
April,
So if somebody wants to run for office, we need to get your paperwork in.
you need to get your paperwork in. So your clerk's office, and there's so many of them. I hear many, many comment. Oh, do I need to give you my address? Okay, okay. I hear many comments from people that are concerned, you know, so-and-so wears 5 different hats. Well, so-and-so signs up to do things. The positions are there, they're available, and we totally would love to have a broader perspective and input from people. So they're there, and go through your clerks and elected people. Thank you.
Any other public comment at this time? All right, financials. We did distribute some, as it turns out.
That's the payroll.
That's just payroll?
Yep.
Okay, so, we did not have anybody want to explain that, or should I?
I can explain it.
Okay.
It took a while. I just got bank access today. There's lots of accesses that then pile on top of other accesses. And I was so proud of myself because I ran reports. And then I found out that I needed to add all the interest to the reports before I could distribute them. So we don't have any financials because I just got in at 4 o'clock today.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
We're gonna catch up, it's fun. You wanna take, either the payroll or Ms. Clerk?
This is a resolution for approval of the March 2024 post-audit payroll expenditures. Now therefore be it resolved, the Crystal Lake Township Board approves payment of salaries and wages per the attached Crystal Lake Township payroll summary report for March 2024 with a total of $11,867.12. I so move.
Does she have support?
I support.
Any discussion? Why don't you go ahead and take roll call?
Nielsen,
Yes.
Van Meter, yes. Marble,
Yes.
Ferris,
Yes,
Northway,
Yes.
all right, thank you. And then the warrant report?
There are 2 additional bills that need to be added to the general fund. One is Great Lakes Business System and the other one is the Intuit bill. The total of those 2 bills is $935.93. So the new total for the general fund is $2,870.36. And then the cemetery fund has a total of $75.04. And there are no figures for fire and road funds. So I move to accept the warrant report as amended.
And I'll support that. Any questions about the expenditures this month? Any other discussion?
Nope.
Okay, take roll call when you're ready.
Marble,
Yes.
Van Meter, yes. Northway,
Yes.
Ferris,
Yes,
Nielsen,
Yes.
and do we have, I think that we had a couple of different versions, so is this the correct one for the bank signer? Is it yours? Good, okay.
this is a resolution for adding authorized bank account signer. Now therefore be it resolved, the Crystal Lake Township Board affirms the appointment of Elaine Walton as deputy treasurer and authorizes the township treasurer to add her as an authorized signer to all bank accounts effective immediately, and all other signing persons remain the same. I so move.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Nielsen,
Yes.
Ferris,
Yes,
Marble,
Yes.
Northway,
Yes.
Van Meter, yes.
all right. That so passes. The next thing, airport minutes and bylaws.
The board approval of having Brooke at the audit.
Yes.
Oh, that's right, sorry. Do we just do a verbal okay?
Fine by me. He just wanted to see that it was part of the minutes, that everybody's on board with Brooke being here for a couple days to lead the blind treasurer through.
Will you two be here the whole time?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yes.
I think for dealing with money, should have a roll call. Dealing with the financial papers.
Sure.
I'm sorry, which financial paper should have a roll call,
Yeah.
all right, well, are we paying her to be here?
No,
No, but it deals with all our financial records.
All right, well, I think we don't, we
I don't
can do
care
what we
either way.
want. I don't think it's necessary, but it's okay if we do that.
Sure. I just want her here.
Just go ahead and move that then, Judy.
okay, I move it.
I second it,
Any discussion about Brooke being here for the 2 days for the audit?
not for me.
Roll call, if it's to do with money,
Van Meter, yes. Ferris,
yes.
Nielsen,
Yes.
Marble,
Yes.
Northway.
Yes.
Does that help? Okay, thanks. Next is the airport. Any questions on any of this? There's a nice new copy because our copy was tilted and copied so many times of the bylaws. And I did, email the new manager, Brooke, over there, and I did say that what was missing from this new typed up version is what changed.
And the
and-
the date that it was officially,
And before there were three other dates where the bylaws were amended since, and so I haven't heard back from that yet, so. Any other questions about that? We have never heard from our second person representing us on the airport authority. We've never heard, since Tammy May left the board, I've never seen her again here. So I just was wondering whether, it was possible that we ask her if she wants to continue. But I should mention that we did, and this was in the minutes, but maybe you guys don't know, that we did appoint somebody named David Spraggins to the airport authority to replace Brooks. So
Yeah.
we do have two people right now.
at that same meeting, you said that you would talk to Tammy and see if she was.
Yeah, I haven't heard that.
Okay,
Oh, you did call her?
No, I didn't call, I just texted.
Okay.
okay.
Okay, any other for airport? Buildings and grounds, you're up, Brian.
All right. Gonna talk about a little bit about buildings and grounds first. This building is approaching 80 years old. It's got a furnace in the basement that's probably 31, 32 years old, and it's starting to get pretty rusty. We had it serviced last fall before the heating season. And the technician took one look at it and said, this is probably the last year on this furnace. So we've been kind of planning to put a new heating and cooling system in this building for 2 or 3 years now, so I think now it's time. So I submitted specs out to the HVAC contractors in the area. I've got 3 quotes back, but I'm still waiting for more quotes to return. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put a, high efficiency condensing furnace in here. And we're gonna put a standard air conditioner. We thought about a heat pump, but we got natural gas here, so the payback on a heat pump would be probably 20 years. So we're just gonna go with a standard furnace, air conditioning unit. We've been cooling this place in the summertime with a window air conditioner, which is not the most efficient way to do it, so. We'll probably vote on it next month. A
We'll
resolution
have
next
numbers
month.
by next month.
Yeah, we'll have numbers. The second thing is information technology, and last year we had a new domain server, and we put a new network in here. And it's taken the better part of a year to work out all the bugs. But now we're at the point where the cybersecurity package that came with the original server we installed last year is starting to, there's better products in the marketplace to install on that server, better cybersecurity. So I had Chris from Eclipse Communications in here today, and he's gonna quote a better cybersecurity package for us to add on to our managed service contract with them. Also, we're gonna be buying 4 copies of Adobe Acrobat Pro.
Yay.
We need as soon as possible. Amy's subscription expires in May, so we'll be looking at that pretty soon. And then the next thing is wireless telephone headsets. Is that everybody's tied to their desk here, so if if anybody gets a call and they have to go look for something in a filing cabinet, they have to set the phone down and go. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at getting some wireless headsets. They're a couple $100 a piece. We'll probably get 3 or 4 of them. That'll be coming up for next month too. And lastly, we are using Gmail for our email addresses here. And, last year, the government offered free .gov domains. So we've applied for that. That's in the works right now. I applied for the domain on March 22nd. Usually it takes about a month to hear back. I checked the status today. It's still in submitted status. So once that gets approved, I'm gonna go directly to Eclipse Communication and have them start working on converting our network domain into a .gov domain, and we'll convert all our email addresses too. That's about it.
He's both our, buildings and grounds person and our IT person, so we also covered the IT bullet down there. But we, screwed up somehow again on the cleanup days. And so there is a, resolution out there somewhere that says proclaiming it's the 11th
Yeah.
of May,
And the third.
3rd.
Yep.
And it's a new location. It's down at Graceland's east parking lot this year. We moved it from the airport. There was too much risk having all that junk in the parking lot, potentially tracking it out into the anyways. So Graceland was graceful enough to let us use their east parking lot. And, we'll have traffic coming in off of, Forest Avenue, heading east. We'll line them up in that parking lot, and it'll be a lot more efficient this year because nobody has to back into the garbage trucks.
And there's gonna be room for the long line of
We're gonna
people.
have 3 lines in that parking lot.
Oh,
Yeah, Jill's gonna help us out.
I am.
So anyway, we do have a,
resolution.
yeah, except it says 2004 instead of 2024. And so, it just states that the final cleanup days are May 11th and August 3rd, and the new location is at the corner of M22 and Lake Street. The Fruitland, I always say that every time, parking lot. So, I so move. Do I support for
I'll support that.
declaring, and then go ahead and just take roll call?
Jill, Miles,
Yes.
sorry. Van Meter, yes. Nielsen,
Yes.
Northway,
Yes.
Ferris,
Yes. Okay, now we're to elections. Oh, no, cemeteries, the new burial fees, I don't have to, you could rip up the, actual, resolution, but if you wanted, you can rip off the back page, which actually is the new grid, which shows, our section is charging $100 more per burial this year, so you can keep that for your records if you wish, but that's just an announcement. And then, future funding, we're gonna be working on that. And trying to get that all cleared up, because at this point, we, just recently found out that we've never taken from the not the endowment, the perpetual fund, which is required by law that we have. And so we're not sure how, there's supposed to be a portion of every payment that we have that goes into the spending fund and into the perpetual fund. So we'll be working on that. And also, do you have any questions about the complaints? If you guys have any questions about the complaints from the families that wrote in last time, I'd be glad to show you records or anything. So if you do, that's just what I want to say out loud. Okay, elections.
The election commission met on April 5th and approved the slate of election inspectors for the May 7th school election. And now the township board has to affirm the appointment. Therefore, the Crystal Lake Township Board affirms the election commission appointment of the following individuals in their respective roles to work the May 7th, 2024 Frankfort, Alberta Area Schools Special Election. Elizabeth Rogers, Elizabeth Schreit, Sue Sullivan, Amy Schindler, Sonia Dykehouse, Kathy Wilkinson, Brenda Sue Weber, Mary Ellen Paul, Janet Wynn, Brian Halliday, David Wynn, Jay Burt, Sandra Halliday, Ruth Paris, Ann Burt, Judy Van Meter, I think that's it. Absentee voter counting board is Kathy Wilkinson, Jay Burt, and Sandra Halliday. Receiving board inspectors are Ruth Harris and Ian Burt. Precinct board chairman will be Elizabeth Schrake. I so move.
I second you.
Any further discussion? I just want to make it clear that I do object to somebody on the board there, but overall, that's Judy's purview, so. Any other discussion? Roll call when you're ready.
Northwood,
Yes.
Van Meter, yes. Ferris,
Yes.
Marble,
Yes.
Nielsen,
Yes. But I answered for Nielsen, isn't that weird? That passes, thank you. Any other thing for elections? Any questions for Judy?
Good luck.
Does every, does
Oh,
everybody
this one's
know
gonna be
that
a
this
piece of
time
cake.
is not 9 days early voting?
Oh,
It's just
okay.
1 day.
All right, I didn't know that. Sweet. One day, okay.
August and November will be 10 days each.
We did IT. Any questions for Brian on IT? Legalities, we talked about this in a previous meeting. I'm hoping that I get feedback from you guys about priorities again. We have said this a couple of times. Blight, for example, I have notified them and I've given them very specific directions to come up with their, what.
An ordinance with more teeth.
Yes, and,
Okay.
and very clear and one that's enforceable, et cetera. They have not written it up for us yet. I said, don't you just have like a template? But they haven't sent anything back yet. Right now, we have a standing resolution that says that to access the attorney, it is, several people. And so I just want you to think about that, if that's something we want to change. Our lawyer would like to just, his preference is to communicate with the zoning administrator for zoning issues and the clerk and the supervisor for us. We have another resolution that says that when some communication comes in, that it goes to the 3 officers. And at this point, when you and I were talking with him, I said, how about Judy just be in charge of distributing it? So that's, just wanted to get that. And we want to work on privileged communications. I have screwed up in the past when I thought, well, this is pretty transparent stuff that it shouldn't be privileged. But we need to talk about what is privileged communication and what's something that we want our public to know.
But I thought he told you, he puts that on every letter he writes. Has the
And it's
date,
up to us,
and it's up to us to decide.
not me personally, but it should be, and maybe we can come up with some process that I don't just go rogue and post it on the website erroneously, that we have some rules on how to do that.
Well, what if you and Judy review it, since you're the contacts to the attorney? And if you two agree, it gets posted.
I don't know if the other 3 of you feel comfortable with that.
I'm not sure it makes it that big of a difference.
Do you feel comfortable with that?
Maybe when it's posted, you could email us and have us take a peek and look over it.
I'd be glad to do that. So email you and just get your feedback.
If there's been an update, respond accordingly.
And give us a time frame. And if you haven't heard from us, you and Judy make the decision.
Sound good? Sounds good. Any other questions for legal? Media, I just want to remind you that, I continue to do the website and you guys need to get me specifically what you want posted. If I don't get it specifically, just some vague orders, then I make up something myself and you may not like what I write. So in the newsletter, if you could have any entries you want to me before the next meeting.
Okay.
Any other questions on media? Planning and zoning, proposed camp nearby, RV park update. I think you got an email today from Tom, didn't you? Or was
We
it
did.
a day or 2 ago?
This afternoon.
I didn't see it.
Tom's the zoning administrator, and he just clearly and emphatically said, right now, it's being reviewed. There are no decisions being made. No decisions will be made without being at least 2 public meetings that are about this. And Greg Wright is the chair of our planning commission. Do you have anything you want to add to that? Because there's a lot of bad stuff out there that somehow decisions
Next
are being
Wednesday,
made.
we'll be looking at it for the first time, and it's open to the public. And we haven't really seen it or discussed it at all yet, so we'll all be seeing it.
When you say next Wednesday, is that one of the 2 proposed meetings for public comment, or is that premature?
Yes, but I can't predict right now how long it's gonna take. Other projects have taken many months. Depends on how complicated it gets, and I really don't know anything more to tell you tonight.
That's the regularly scheduled
Yep.
planning commission meeting.
Yeah.
It's
So
not a
that's not
public
the
hearing.
public hearing that we'll
No,
have to.
it's the regular meeting.
That was my understanding from Tom's note, and we can clarify that and bring it to the next meeting.
That meeting on Wednesday is not one of the 2 public ones.
Right, we'll
Is
find
what
out.
we think.
Because they haven't even looked at it. They couldn't even discuss it with you guys. They wouldn't even know how to address
Yeah,
it.
when it's a public meeting, this place is gonna be packed, I bet.
Mhm.
So we'll make sure that that's always posted and all that good stuff. Somebody, I don't know if you can find humor in this, somebody, wrote a letter, as many people are sending us letters, expressing their opinion on this, and they called it, Camp Nearly There. So anyway, it's Camp Nearby.
One more thing, Amy.
Yeah,
We're asking the public, for this meeting to, next week, to put your comments in writing if you can. And then, those will all be reviewed and, seen by the planning commission. When we have a public hearing, where, we'll end up deliberating, and we're far away from that right now.
and plus, I haven't talked to you about this, Greg, but somebody wrote me, just in the last 24 hours and saying that the people who are applying for this special permit, have put up a website that says that they're taking reservations already.
Wow.
And she said, so you guys have already decided and you just aren't telling us, right? And I said, no, that's not the case, but it is pretty weird that they have
That's
that
how
website.
rumors get started.
Yeah, that's how rumors get started, so.
Yeah.
Next is, old business. ARPA, are we done?
We are.
All right, we can throw that out the window and
I do have one question.
the
In order,
contracts.
I've got to have the signed contracts in order to get the packet together so that we have it for the auditor.
Let's get you those.
That'd be good.
And then the, contracts did come back.
Okay,
I have not gone through to make sure that he hasn't changed anything.
You actually have them?
Yeah. And I just want to make sure that he didn't change anything and then I sign it second. And that's gonna take some going through. But we'll do that. And then Iron Man, do you have that, in front of you?
Yep.
That's your baby,
The route's gonna be the same as it was last year.
is it?
All that remains to be done right now is that we certified it. Because last year, 3 or 4 months ago, we already gave permission, but it wasn't passed through. You can probably, Sandra can probably tell more.
Yeah, we need the resolution update and upload it and that, and that's what they're waiting for.
Yeah,
So move it.
I move that the resolution of the support and approval of Ironman Triathlon 70.3 be agreed.
That we support and approve it
Supported.
to be conducted in Crystal Lake Township and adjoining communities.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Roll call on you.
Ferris,
Yeah.
Nielsen,
Yes,
Northway,
Yes.
Van Meter, yes, Marvel.
Yes.
All right. Road brining, pretty straightforward. I don't know, I don't think I have mine in here. Oh, it's on that packet.
Yeah,
The
it's on
back,
the back of
it's
the
the back of
packet.
this packet. The
Last
the
page.
last page. Apparently they think they sent us something March 1st, but we don't have it. So it just said, The estimated cost of the first brine is $719.53. The cost for the second would be the same as the first. I know that we've, in different years, done just one, and then some years we've done two.
Yeah.
So, what would you like to do, folks? Like two? Any others?
And the reason I'm saying two, one of them's the road we're on, and it's very dusty and dirty.
I didn't have time to type up a resolution. So I'll just go ahead and move that, that we accept the estimates for brining twice in the summer of 2024 for the applicable roads. Do I have a second? Any further discussion? Go ahead and,
Nielsen,
Yes,
Marble,
yes,
Van Meter, yes, Northway,
Yes.
Ferris.
yes. All right, I'll get this filled out as well and get that going. At this point, I had just, wondered, oh, well, we're not into board comment yet. Any other new business? Public comment again. We got a lot of guests here. We'd love to hear from you if you have anything to say. Board comment, I wondered if we could approach the meeting schedule again.
You read my mind.
Oh, really?
I was gonna say.
Well, you go ahead and do it.
I would like the board to think about adjusting the meeting time, and we don't have to do it tonight. We can think about it, and maybe next meeting, after we've all given it some thought. I would love to see it not be 7 o'clock. I think when you guys leave work, you could come here and not necessarily go home and cool your heels for 2 hours before you come here, and think maybe 5:30, 6 o'clock would be a better time. It's just an idea.
I think Benzonia meets at 3 o'clock then.
I love it. But I think if you guys would.
If it's at 3 o'clock.
If it ain't broke,
Um,
it's one day a month,
I know, but
at
do you,
least for us.
do you
The
think-
way I see it, I'm sorry,
okay,
if that's,
nope, we'll have
Stepping out.
public comment next time, but I would like the board to think about it, and even if it was 6 o'clock. Anyway, doesn't have to be on the agenda now.
You're right, that's just board comment. Any other board comment at this time?
Yes, I love that there's this many people here,
Yeah, we're
and
really
I'm
impressed.
thrilled. Usually,
Cookies.
yeah, that is probably it. But I mean, usually it's the same 3 people, 4 people. You guys are new. I love it. You've come a couple times, and I hope that people come more. And we'll try to move it along.
And we got committees you could be on.
Blight committee would be a good one.
Yes,
Yeah.
we're hoping that you guys do take a real active.
Yeah, I did pull the ordinance and studied it. You're right, there's no guts in it.
No,
You know, all you do is find a person, you don't even tell them to clean it up, you just give them a fine. And then it's $100, and then it's $250, and then it's $500. It's a waste. So where's the guts? He doesn't tell them.
we're hoping to
clean it up.
get guts.
Yeah, and the other thing too, the other point that I was gonna make about that ordinance is what's going on right now, which could have a little guts, is the junk yard. Yeah, you have it in the ordinance. Well, the people down the street are actually allowing a business person, from what I understand, you'd have to check it out further, allowing a business person who is collecting money to clear people's trash out of their property, and then they dump it at that location. That is a direct violation of an ordinance. That the people are not a business collecting the money, but they're allowing this person to dump his trash, who is a business. So are they, and for profit, so are they getting a fee from him to trash that? Because you'll see the mattresses in a big pile surrounded by the travel trailers. It's kind of like a little caravan thing going on there. But I just feel that that is a slightly higher part of your ordinance, that you could do something about
they
that.
didn't get Capone on racketeering, they got them for the tax evasion, so if you
Exactly.
can get them from a business
Follow money.
standpoint.
I just, yeah.
Well,
and,
I'm just saying that if that's where you gotta get your ground and dig your heels in and get them in litigation, it's got the T.
Yeah, because it says a junkyard means a business enterprise, or part of a business enterprise. And, well,
And it has gotten worse.
it's gotten worse. And he is a young man. He even advertises in the newspaper.
And he's on Facebook Marketplace,
Right.
everything, he ads that he's collecting mattresses, furniture, TVs.
TVs, and they're dumping it there. So, they dump it on the street by me. It says a junkyard
On the
is,
street.
yeah, junkyard.
Did anybody take care of that?
I'm sorry, go ahead. I just think that if you want to
No, don't call
come against them, say that we don't have the guts here, but we do, and that's what they're doing. That's my public input.
I have a comment on that same issue. Matt's the Fine Seed property owner next to, Cunningham there. When I talked to, Dick from the airport a while back, he had mentioned that they offered to sell that property to him, but because it was the airport, they couldn't pay the low price. They would have to pay a mandated price. If that place is available, why don't we buy it and clean it ourselves?
Well, it was been cleaned twice, and that's been 20+ years ago. One time it was over 20,000, the other time it was over 40,000.
So we buy it.
Then.
We buy it.
Yeah.
And,
Township owned the property, will never be dirty.
right, but I was in there in December and we did a site evaluation and the estimated cleanup's over 450,000.
Correct, that's why it was a low price, and that's why the airport couldn't pay it, because it's a mandated price they have to pay on a fair rate. They can't-
It definitely is an option, and I thank you for bringing it up.
There is the Superfund site, if we were to buy it and then get the state to classify it as a Superfund site or whatever you call it for the disaster.
Brownfield right now is the only thing that we're classifying under as a brownfield site, and I've already been in touch with the state on that, so.
Brownfield's right, just check the ground, that's brown.
Because it's one of the things, I was at the health department shortly after our meeting here, because I needed to go get a permit for, my blessings and.
Gross nickel?
Yeah, and I had a conversation about it. They were shocked. He was absolutely shocked. He said, are you telling me that it doesn't have a sewer system? As in, from what I understand,
Amy was at the table with them.
yeah.
Yeah, that's bringing truth.
But
So let's get the ordinance back.
Yeah,
From
But
the
anyways,
attorney.
it's something we need to look at, and I'm glad to see that you at least.
You have sympathetic ears.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just wrote down.
I'm very happy that you did, because I was gonna question you about that, when after I read the ordinance, I thought you did it in 2014 and you didn't put any guts in it. And in 2014, people were complaining about that place.
Actually, I inherited that from the previous, and it was so messed up that they had forgotten entire phrases and misspelled things. So the 2014 was just a cleaned up version of something that was even older. So, yeah.
Well, I'm glad to see that you've taken and asked legal to take a look at it and get something, because seriously, that is a terrible situation for our county, for our township. That's, very bad and contaminating,
And we've got a couple sites.
And Airport Road
Which
too.
one are we talking about?
Right
Yeah,
here.
'cause aren't they coming?
There's a couple.
Is there, but I mean,
And
is
there's some
there?
on Airport Road.
Yeah, right.
The one on Airport Road's been there forever.
It's like,
It just seems to get worse.
We can maybe not pinpoint a specific property, but also just kind of think largely.
When we first I got into office, we named 5 of the top sites.
Got it.
And we haven't done a thing about it.
No, we haven't,
And
because there's
that's,
nothing.
I think that kind of, what's the word I'm looking for?
Gross.
Well, yes, but I believe it points to an underlying commonality in all of these locations and maybe the families or the socioeconomic discrepancies between neighbors in some places in this county, but just kind of a stone wall. It's not my property until it's a problem that I have to look at. That's all fine and well that we clean it up, but that's putting a Band-Aid. There's deeper issues. And I believe money is spent so freely on things that we don't kind of pay attention to the more important things to keep this from happening again. I'm not saying we, foot a bill entirely or give people a get out of jail free card or, we'll fix your problems. You don't have to take responsibility. I'm not saying anything like that, but there's a lot more to it, I think, and that's why I really enjoy this committee that you're working on. I would like to be privileged to some of it. I just think there's a lot of.
Light committee. Yeah.
Thank you.
I will include, communications with you if the lawyer gets back to me soon.
That'd be great. I don't mind serving on it and Josh will help. That'd be great.
As for Ken, everyone thought Ken was living in the house, you know, the basement. No, no one's been living in that. I verified that with Roy for over 3 years because the back wall caved in and there is no house there anymore. It's the front 3 walls, everything else is caved in, blown in. So him using that address as his address because of him being registered, whatever, that's a no-go too, because he has not lived there in over 2 years, 2.5 years.
Yeah, I think the last time that Tom went on the site, he was living there. But that shows you that it's been a while.
Yeah, and so he comes periodically through. Roy says he gets his mail once or twice a week. And that's getting to be an issue with young Roy and him because a couple weeks ago they had the cops up there again because young Roy is getting dangerous. So anybody who does go up or around there, just be aware because
Nobody should be on the property.
he's
Yes.
getting,
Well, nobody should have to live like that.
Yeah.
It's,
Well, they choose to. It's a difference, it's not having, it's forcing them to do that, with the choice.
Any other comments from the board at this
Yeah,
time?
welcome back, Doc.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
welcome
continue
back.
healing, then hope it gets better.
Here.
it's 8 o'clock. We're adjourned.